and do this little video about duality and basically how you can get sucked in. Now, I don't think what I mean by duality here as I'm talking about it is when there's a lot of it going on in the world at the minute, probably always has been for years, but it's when you get one side against another side and you get pitched battle. And you know, when you get a group of one side of people all hating the other side, just like, you know, East might hate West, or you know, the Tories might hate the bloody Labour Party, or anything like that. And it's not a good thing, whichever way you look at it. Now, what I'm trying to, I found this little site. I'm not condoning these people, Transform Mind, but what I want to talk about here before I go into that is what happened to me recently about David Cameron. Now, David Cameron, as you know, is our British Prime Minister here, and he went to Europe the other day. I'd just like to say I'm not a Tory. I don't support any specific party. I haven't got any interest in politics whatsoever beyond just noticing what's going on. For some strange reason, I felt very sorry for David Cameron because he'd gone to Europe and he had basically vetoed this agreement about the euro. I won't bore you with that. And then he came back and I thought, well, felt sorry for him really. He was up against Europe, and then the Deputy Prime Minister, the coalition Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg, then stabbed him in the back by basically not being there in the Commons. Anyway, I thought, oh, that's strange. Anyway, I went on Facebook and did a little rant on Facebook about this, which is not something I normally do. I really was getting quite into it, saying, you know, blooming French and Sarkozy is just like Napoleon and blah, blah, blah. And you can soon get really right on about this stuff. Anyway, that was that. I didn't think any more of it. But then last night I had a dream about David Cameron. I don't normally dream about David Cameron. I don't have any sort of subconscious, you know, interest in him. I don't fancy or anything like that. The upshot of the dream was I ended up wearing this jumper of his, which was from his past. It made me realise, with the sleeves cut off, anyway, it made me realise he was giving far too much of himself away. He was getting drained. And I thought, well, why am I dreaming about David Cameron? Anyway, but I realised that the whole thing I think had told me was, it's very easy to get sucked in to other people's problems and to start fighting other people's causes for them, even if you've got good intentions. It's the start of duality, and it can creep up on you. Now, I'm going to go back to this other page now, this duality one, because what I've found, as I say, at the bottom of here, when it says that there's ways to avoid or manage dualities. We use our intuition, sorry. We do not exaggerate the natural polarisation. We can acknowledge elements of the unpleasant state. Number 3 I'm on. Number 4, we acknowledge our preferences. And then number 5, this is important, we accept the tension of the opposites. And this is it. We endure any discomfort, which occurs from the constant change and apparent instability, this is the bit, and from our ego's frustrated desire to claim one side of the polarity, e.g. its claim to be a good person. Now, there's lots of people who, when you mention all sorts of things these days, that you read the Daily Mail, or that you might feel sorry for David Cameron, or you believe in Jesus, or you believe in anything that the mainstream New Agers or lefties, as we call them, don't believe in, they're instantly up in arms because they're trying to save you from themselves. But they're actually getting sucked into duality, and it's easy to do. There's a lot of people in the New Age movement who say that Christianity is terrible. No, religion's terrible. Religion's terrible when it leads to fanaticism. You know, there is truth in all sorts of religions. Buddha, I'm sure, has got truth. I'm sure that there's truth. I believe in Sai Baba. Jesus had a message of love and peace. It's religions that's awful. But I've heard people say, you know, if you believe in Jesus, you're living in fear. No, we're not living in fear. We believe in what we believe in because we choose to do it, like David Cameron has chosen to be a Prime Minister. But this is how we can get sucked in. This is the point, from our ego's frustrated desire to claim one side of the polarity. E.g., it's claimed to be a good person. Now, the ego is a very slippery customer. The ego is pride, basically, but it can lurk in the personality. That's what we're all trying to do, is get rid of the ego. So I just thought that was an interesting point to make here. How from basically feeling empathy or concern for a person or a group of people, how you can jump in to defend them. Before you know where you are, you're sucked into duality and trying to convert a whole bunch of people to something or other because you believe that they are misguided, you know, is I'm sure coming from a very high intention. But before you know where you are, you can be sucked right in, as I've discovered myself. Anyway, I hope you found something interesting in this, and thanks for listening.